The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the alien exploration fleet. Their sleek silver ships glided silently through the darkness, each one a marvel of technology. At the helm of the lead ship stood Captain Zorn, his 4 eyes scanning the stars ahead. For centuries, the Galactic Alliance had searched for signs of advanced life. They had found many primitive species, but none that could challenge their superiority. That was about to change. "Captain," called out the sensor operator, her tentacles waving with excitement. "We're picking up an unusual signal from the third planet in this system." Zorn moved swiftly to the sensor station. "Show me," he commanded. A holographic display flickered to life, showing a blue and green planet. Around it, a web of energy readings pulsed and danced. "Impossible," Zorn muttered. "Our records showed this planet had no intelligent life 500,000 years ago. Just primitive creatures." The science officer, a tall, spindly being named Vex, joined them. "The energy signature is like nothing we've ever seen. It's beyond our technology." Zorn's scales rippled with a mix of excitement and fear. Could it be a natural phenomenon? Vex shook his head. "No, Captain. This is artificial and incredibly advanced." The crew fell silent, the weight of the discovery settling over them. They had come seeking knowledge, but they might have found something far more significant. "Set a course for the planet," Zorn ordered, "but approach with caution. We don't know what we're dealing with." As the fleet moved closer, more details became clear. The energy web around the planet was actually a network of satellites and space stations. Each one hummed with power that made the aliens' most advanced technology look primitive in comparison. "Look there," shouted the navigator. On the main screen, a massive structure appeared. It was a space elevator, stretching from the planet's surface up into orbit. "But that's impossible," stammered Vex. "The materials needed for such a structure, we've only theorized about them." Zorn felt a chill run down his spine. What happened here? How did a planet go from no intelligent life to this in just 500,000 years? As they entered the outer edges of the planet's orbit, a new signal washed over their ships. Their communication systems crackled to life, and a voice spoke. It was clear, precise, and in perfect galactic standard. "Greetings, travelers. You have entered the protected space of Earth. Please identify yourselves and state your purpose." The alien crew looked at each other in shock. The voice continued. "We have been expecting you. For 500,000 years, we have waited for the stars to produce life advanced enough to reach us." Zorn stepped forward, his voice shaky but determined. "This is Captain Zorn of the Galactic Alliance Exploration Fleet. We come in peace, seeking knowledge." There was a pause, and then the voice replied, "Welcome, Captain Zorn. Prepare yourselves. What you will learn here will change the course of galactic history." As the alien ships moved deeper into Earth's orbit, they saw more wonders. Massive space habitats floated serenely. Swarms of small craft moved with impossible speed and precision. "Captain," Vex said, his voice filled with awe, "I don't think we're the advanced ones here. Whatever civilization built this, they're far beyond us." Zorn nodded slowly. "And to think, this all came from a planet that had no intelligent life such a short time ago. What could have happened?" As if in answer, a holographic image appeared on their main screen. It showed the planet as it must have looked 500,000 years ago. Slowly, it began to change. Cities grew, technology advanced. And then, something incredible happened. The image zoomed in, showing beings that looked almost like the primitive creatures from the planet's past. But these beings were changing, merging with machines, evolving at an impossible rate. "My God," whispered Zorn. "They did it. They mastered their own evolution." The voice spoke again. "Welcome to Earth, birthplace of humanity. You have many questions. We have waited a long time to answer them." As the alien fleet prepared to dock with one of the massive space stations, Zorn realized that everything they thought they knew about the galaxy, about life itself, was about to change. The journey that had brought them here was just the beginning. The real adventure was about to start. Captain Zorn stood on the bridge of his ship, his 4 eyes wide with wonder. The alien fleet had just entered Earth's orbit, and what they saw left them speechless. A vast armada of ships filled the space around Earth. They were unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. Sleek, gleaming vessels that seemed to bend light around them. Massive carriers that dwarfed even the largest alien ships, and countless smaller craft that zipped between them with impossible speed and grace. "By the stars," whispered Vex, the science officer. It's beautiful." Zorn nodded, unable to find words. Their own fleet, once a source of pride for the Galactic Alliance, now looked like children's toys in comparison. Suddenly, their communication system crackled to life. A holographic image appeared on the bridge, showing a figure that looked almost human, but not quite. Its skin had a metallic sheen, and its eyes glowed with an inner light. "Greetings, visitors," the figure said, its voice smooth and melodious. "I am Admiral Zora of the Earth Defense Fleet. Welcome to our home." Zorn stepped forward, trying to hide his nervousness. "I am Captain Zorn of the Galactic Alliance. We thought humans were extinct. Our records showed no advanced life on this planet 500,000 years ago." Admiral Zora smiled, a strangely human expression on her not-quite-human face. "Much can change in 500,000 years, Captain. We have been waiting a long time for a species to evolve enough to reach us." As they spoke, several of Earth's ships moved closer. They were even more impressive up close. Their hulls seemed to shift and change, adapting to the space around them. "Your technology," Vex said, unable to contain his curiosity. "It's beyond anything we've ever seen. How is this possible?" "Evolution, my dear friends," Zara replied. "But not just biological evolution. We evolved our minds, our bodies, and our technology together. We became one with our creations." The alien crew exchanged looks of confusion and awe. This went against everything they knew about science and biology. "But where are the original humans?" Zorn asked. "The ones who started this evolution." Zara's expression turned serious. "We are them, Captain. Or rather, we are what they became. 500,000 years ago, humanity faced a choice: stagnate and die, or evolve beyond our biological limitations. We chose to evolve." As if to demonstrate, Zora's form shifted. One moment she looked almost human. The next she was a being of pure energy. Then a swarm of nanobots, before settling back into her previous form. The alien crew gasped. Zorn felt his knees go weak. This is impossible," he muttered. "Not impossible," Zora corrected gently. "Just very, very advanced. We have transcended what you would call physical form. We are energy, thought, and matter combined." Just then, alarms blared on the alien ships. Zorn turned to his crew in panic. "What's happening?" The sensor operator's tentacles waved frantically. "Captain, our ships, they're changing." Before their eyes, the alien vessels began to transform. Old, worn parts were replaced with sleek, advanced components. Systems upgraded themselves in seconds. "Don't be alarmed," Zara said calmly. "We're merely bringing your technology up to a level where we can communicate more effectively. Consider it a welcome gift." Zorn watched in amazement as his ship became something new, something incredible. Screens he didn't recognize flickered to life, showing him views of the universe he had never imagined possible. "This is but a fraction of what we can offer," Zora continued. "We have waited eons for this moment, for the chance to share our knowledge with a species ready to receive it." As the upgrades finished, a strange calm settled over the alien crew. They felt connected to their ships in a way they never had before. It was as if the vessels were extensions of their own bodies. "Why?" Zorn asked, his voice filled with emotion. "Why help us like this?" Zara's hologram smiled again. "Because long ago, we were like you. Curious, exploring, seeking knowledge. We haven't forgotten our roots, Captain. And now we want to help you grow. As the Earth fleet surrounded them, not as a threat, but as a welcoming committee, Zorn realized that this was more than just first contact. It was the dawn of a new era for his people, for the entire galaxy. The journey that had brought them to Earth was over, but a new, greater adventure was just beginning. The alien landing craft descended through Earth's atmosphere, its newly upgraded systems making the journey smooth and effortless. Captain Zorn stood at the front, his 4 eyes taking in every detail of the blue and green planet below. "It's beautiful," whispered Vex, the science officer. "But where are the cities? The people?" As they got closer to the surface, Zorn realized Vex was right. There were no sprawling urban centers, no signs of the vast civilization they had seen in space. Instead, they saw lush forests, pristine oceans, and mountains untouched by development. The craft landed in a clearing, and the alien crew stepped out onto Earth's soil. The air was clean and fresh, filled with the scents of plants and earth. But there was something else too, a faint hum of energy that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Spread out," Zorn ordered, "but be careful. We don't know what we might find." As the aliens explored, they began to notice strange things. Trees that seemed to shift and change as they walked past, rocks that glowed with inner light, animals that watched them with an intelligence that seemed impossible for non-sentient creatures. "Captain," called one of the crew members, "I found something." Zorn hurried over. In a small clearing, they saw what looked like the ruins of an ancient building. But as they watched, the ruins began to change. Walls reformed, windows appeared, and soon they were standing before a gleaming, futuristic structure. "What is this place?" Zorn wondered aloud. As if in answer, a shimmering hologram appeared before them. It was Admiral Zora, the evolved human they had met in orbit. "Welcome to Earth," she said, her voice echoing around them. "What you see here is both our past and our future. This building was once a simple human dwelling. Now it's a node in our planetary network, able to form and reform as needed." Vex stepped forward, his scientific curiosity overcoming his awe. "But where are the people? The cities we expected to see?" Zora's hologram smiled. "We are everywhere and nowhere. Our consciousness permeates this planet, from the smallest blade of grass to the tallest mountain. We have become one with Earth itself." The aliens looked at each other in confusion. This was beyond anything they had imagined. "Let me show you," Zora said. The hologram expanded, enveloping them in a 3D display of Earth's history. They saw cities rise and fall, technology advance at an incredible pace. Then, they watched as humans began to merge with their machines, their bodies changing, evolving. 500,000 years ago, Zora explained, we reached a turning point. Our technology had advanced to the point where we could reshape our very beings. We chose to transcend our physical forms, to become one with the world around us. The display showed humans dissolving into pure energy, merging with the planet itself. Cities were dismantled, the materials repurposed to create a global network of energy and information. But why? Zorn asked. Why give up your individual forms? We didn't give them up, Zara corrected. We expanded them. Each of us is now a part of a greater whole, able to take any form we wish, to experience life in ways you cannot imagine. As if to demonstrate, the plants and animals around them began to shift and change. A tree morphed into a human-like figure, then back into a tree. A bird flew down, transformed into a small robot, then back into a bird. Everything you see is us, Zora said. We are the planet, and the planet is us. We have become its guardians, its caretakers, and its children. The aliens stood in stunned silence, trying to comprehend the scale of what they were seeing. But what about the fleet in orbit? Vex asked. Why maintain such powerful defenses if you've achieved this level of evolution? Zara's hologram turned serious. The universe is vast and often dangerous. We protect Earth not just for ourselves, but for all the life that calls this planet home. And we wait, watching the stars, ready to guide other species when they're ready to take the next step in their evolution. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the landscape, Zorn realized that they had stumbled upon something far greater than a lost civilization. They had found the next stage of evolution, a glimpse into a possible future for all sentient life. The mystery of Earth had deepened, and with it, the aliens' understanding of their place in the universe had been forever changed. As the alien crew stood in awe of the transformed Earth, a soft humming filled the air. The ground beneath their feet began to glow, and suddenly, a massive holographic projection appeared before them. It showed an elderly human man, his face lined with wisdom and his eyes twinkling with intelligence. "Greetings, travelers from the stars," the man said, his voice deep and resonant. "I am Dr. Elias Chen, the last elected leader of humanity, as you would understand it. What you are seeing is a message we prepared 500,000 years ago, to be shared with the first advanced alien species to reach our world." Captain Zorn stepped forward, his four eyes wide with wonder. This is incredible," he whispered. The hologram of Dr. Chen smiled. "If you are seeing this message, it means that our great experiment has succeeded. Humanity has transcended its physical form and become something more." The image changed, showing scenes of Earth's past. Crowded cities, polluted skies, wars, and suffering. 500 millennia ago, we stood at a crossroads. Dr. Chen continued. Our technology had advanced to miraculous levels, but our wisdom had not kept pace. We were destroying our planet, ourselves, and potentially any chance of a future for our species. Vex, the alien science officer, watched in fascination as the hologram displayed humanity's technological marvels. Computers the size of molecules, energy sources that could power entire continents, and medical advances that could cure any disease. But then, Dr. Chen said, his voice filled with excitement, "We made a breakthrough. We discovered a way to digitize human consciousness, to transfer our minds into a vast, planet-wide network. It was the next step in our evolution." The hologram showed humans willingly stepping into strange machines, their bodies dissolving into pure energy as their minds were uploaded into the planetary network. It wasn't an easy decision, Dr. Chen admitted. Many were afraid, resistant to such a drastic change. But as our world teetered on the brink of collapse, we realized it was our only hope for survival and for reaching our true potential. Captain Zorn found himself moved by the story. He could see the parallels with his own species' struggles, the challenges they faced as they reached for the stars. The hologram continued, showing the transformation of Earth. Cities were dismantled, their materials repurposed to build the vast network that would house humanity's collective consciousness. Nature reclaimed the land, guided by the newly evolved humans. "We became the caretakers of our world," Dr. Chen explained. "No longer bound by physical form, we could experience life as a blade of grass, a soaring eagle, or a towering mountain. We became one with Earth, and in doing so, we discovered a deeper connection to the universe itself." The alien crew watched in amazement as the hologram demonstrated the new abilities of the evolved humans, shaping matter with thought, communicating across vast distances instantly, and perceiving realms of existence they had never imagined. "But we didn't forget our roots," Dr. Chen said, his expression turning serious. "We maintained our technology, our defenses, our thirst for knowledge. We watched the stars, waiting for others to join us in the cosmic conversation." The hologram zoomed out, showing Earth as a shining jewel in the vastness of space. "And now you are here," Dr. Chen said, his voice filled with warmth. "The first to reach us, to witness what we have become. We welcome you not as conquerors or subjects, but as fellow travelers on the grand journey of evolution." As the message neared its end, Dr. Chen's expression became one of hope and excitement. "What you will learn here may challenge everything you believe about life, consciousness, and the nature of existence itself. But it also offers a glimpse into a potential future for all sentient beings. The hologram of Dr. Chen spread his arms wide. On behalf of humanity, past, present, and future, I bid you welcome. May our meeting mark the beginning of a new era of understanding and exploration for all species in our vast and wondrous universe. With these words, the hologram faded, leaving the alien crew in stunned silence. Captain Zorn looked at his team, seeing the mix of awe, excitement, and trepidation on their faces. They had come seeking knowledge, but they had found something far greater, a vision of what might be possible for their own species and for all life in the galaxy. As the sun set on this extraordinary day, Zorn realized that their real journey was just beginning. The message from humanity's past had opened a door to a future filled with unimaginable possibilities. As the holographic message from Dr. Chen faded away, Captain Zorn and his crew stood in silence, their minds reeling from the revelations they had just witnessed. The alien explorers looked at each other, a mix of excitement and apprehension in their eyes. "What do we do now, Captain?" Vex asked, his scientific curiosity barely contained. Before Zorn could answer, the air around them shimmered. Admiral Zara's hologram reappeared, her expression warm and inviting. "I believe it's time to show you more of what humanity has become," she said. "Please, follow me." As they walked, the landscape around them began to change. Trees shifted, revealing hidden pathways. The ground beneath their feet became smooth and iridescent, pulsing with gentle light. "What you're seeing is our planetary neural network," Zara explained. "Every part of Earth is connected, allowing us to monitor and nurture all life forms." They approached what looked like an ordinary hill, but as they got closer, it transformed, revealing a sleek, futuristic structure. "This is one of our planetary defense nodes," Zara said. Inside, the aliens gasped in awe. The walls were alive with holographic displays, showing views of Earth, its orbit, and deep space beyond. In the center stood a pulsing orb of energy. "This is part of the system we use to protect Earth," Zora explained. "It can detect threats from across the galaxy and respond in ways you might consider miraculous." Vex stepped closer to the orb, his sensors buzzing with activity. "The energy readings are off the scale," he muttered. "This technology, it's beyond anything we've ever encountered." Zara nodded. "What you see here is the result of 500,000 years of continuous evolution and improvement. We've merged technology with the very fabric of space-time." As if to demonstrate, Zara waved her hand. A section of space on one of the displays seemed to ripple and fold. A massive asteroid, previously on a collision course with Earth, simply vanished and reappeared in a stable orbit around Jupiter. "Incredible," Zorn breathed. "You can manipulate space itself." "In a manner of speaking," Zara replied. "We've learned to work with the universe, not against it. Our defenses are not just about destruction, but about harmony and balance." The tour continued, with the aliens witnessing more wonders. They saw vast underwater cities where evolved sea creatures worked alongside the human consciousness to maintain ocean ecosystems. They visited orbital platforms that could create weather patterns to nurture life on Earth. At each stop, the aliens learned more about the legacy humanity had created. It wasn't just about advanced technology or incredible powers. It was a fundamental shift in how an intelligent species could interact with its environment and the cosmos at large. "But why show us all this?" Zorn asked as they stood atop a mountain, overlooking a breathtaking vista of forests and lakes. Zara turned to him, her holographic form shimmering in the sunlight. "Because you're ready. Your species has reached a point where you can understand what we've achieved, and perhaps follow a similar path." The implications of her words hit Zorn like a physical blow. "You mean, you want us to evolve like you did?" "The choice is yours," Zora said gently. "We don't impose our way of life on others, but we offer the knowledge, the possibility. Your species, like many others we've encountered, is at a crossroads. You have the potential for greatness, but also for self-destruction. Vex, who had been quiet for a while, spoke up. But what about individuality? Personal identity? Didn't you lose that when you merged into this collective? Zara laughed, a sound like tinkling bells. Oh no, dear Vex. We didn't lose our individuality. We expanded it. Each of us is still unique, but we're also part of something greater. Imagine being able to experience life as every creature on your planet, to feel the turn of the seasons, to dance among the stars. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in brilliant hues of orange and purple, Zorn looked out over the pristine landscape. He thought about his own world, the challenges his people faced, the dreams they held. This is a lot to process, he said finally. Zara nodded understanding. Of course it is. And there's no rush. Earth has waited 500,000 years for this moment. We can wait a little longer. She gestured towards the horizon. For now, why don't you simply enjoy the view? Sometimes, the greatest revelations come in moments of quiet contemplation. As the alien crew stood there, watching the sun sink below the horizon, they each felt a profound sense of change. They had come seeking knowledge, but they had found something far more valuable, a new perspective on what it meant to be alive, to be conscious, to be part of the vast, wondrous universe. The legacy of humanity stretched out before them, a testament to what was possible when a species chose to evolve not just technologically, but spiritually and ethically as well. It was a legacy that would change the course of galactic history forever. As the alien fleet orbited Earth, news of their incredible discovery spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Captain Zorn found himself in the center of a storm of interstellar communication. Leaders from every corner of the Galactic Alliance demanded information, each trying to understand the implications of this evolved humanity. On the bridge of his ship, now a marvel of hybrid technology thanks to Earth's upgrades, Zorn faced a wall of holographic screens. Each one showed a different alien leader, their faces a mix of curiosity, excitement, and fear. Captain Zorn, rumbled Supreme Chancellor Klix, his tentacles waving in agitation. Is it true? Have you really found a species that has transcended physical form? Zorn took a deep breath. Yes, Chancellor. The humans have evolved into a collective consciousness that permeates their entire planet. Their technology is beyond anything we've ever seen. A chorus of gasps and murmurs erupted from the screens. Admiral Zara's hologram appeared beside Zorn, her presence immediately silencing the chatter. Greetings, leaders of the Galactic Alliance, she said, her voice calm and reassuring. I am Admiral Zara, a representative of Earth. We understand you have many questions. The Vexillian ambassador, a being of pure light, pulsed brightly. How do we know you're not a threat? Such power could easily overwhelm our defenses. Zara smiled. If domination was our goal, we could have achieved it long ago. We chose a different path, one of guardianship and growth. We've been watching the galaxy evolve, waiting for the right moment to make contact. But why now? Asked Queen Zora of the Zygon Empire, her crystalline form shimmering with curiosity. Because the galaxy is at a tipping point, Zora explained. Many of your civilizations are approaching the same crossroads humanity faced 500,000 years ago. You have the power to destroy yourselves, or to evolve into something greater. The implications of her words sank in. The gathered leaders looked at each other, centuries-old rivalries and conflicts suddenly seeming petty in the face of this revelation. Chancellor Klix spoke up, his voice thoughtful. You mentioned guardianship. What exactly are you guarding? Life itself, Zara replied. In all its wondrous forms, we've seen countless civilizations rise and fall. Some destroyed themselves. Others fell victim to cosmic disasters. We decided to take a more active role in nurturing the development of conscious life in the galaxy. The Arcturian sage, oldest among the gathered leaders, leaned forward. Are you offering to share your knowledge with us? Zara nodded. We are. But it's not a simple transfer of technology. What we offer is a new way of existence, a path to evolution that requires not just scientific advancement, but spiritual and ethical growth as well. The screens erupted in a cacophony of voices, each leader trying to speak over the others. Some demanded immediate access to Earth's knowledge. Others expressed fear and suspicion. A few called for a military response to this potential threat. Captain Zorn watched the chaos unfold, feeling overwhelmed. Then he felt a gentle touch on his mind. Zora, communicating directly with him. This is normal, her thoughts whispered. Change is always met with resistance, but see how the seeds of curiosity are already taking root. Zorn looked closer and realized she was right. Beneath the fear and suspicion, he could see wonder in the eyes of the gathered leaders. Questions were being asked not just about technology, but about consciousness, about the nature of existence itself. Admiral Zara raised her hand, and a hush fell over the gathering. "We understand your concerns," she said aloud. "We do not ask for your trust immediately. Instead, we extend an invitation. Send your best and brightest to Earth. Let them see for themselves what we have achieved. Let them ask questions, challenge our ideas, and draw their own conclusions." The proposal hung in the air, filled with potential. Slowly, one by one, the leaders nodded their agreement. As the communication ended, Zorn turned to Zara. "What happens now?" he asked. The hologram smiled. "Now, Captain, we prepare for guests. The next few years will see a great exchange of ideas. There will be challenges, certainly. Not everyone will be ready to accept what we offer. But this is the beginning of a new era for the galaxy." Zorn looked out at the stars, feeling a sense of both excitement and trepidation. The galaxy as they knew it was about to change forever. Old power structures would crumble, new alliances would form, and at the center of it all was Earth. No longer a myth or a legend, but a beacon of what was possible when a species chose to evolve. As his ship prepared to welcome the first wave of galactic diplomats and scientists, Zorn realized that his journey of discovery was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. Years had passed since the fateful day when Captain Zorn's fleet discovered Earth. The planet, once a myth, had become the center of galactic attention. Ships from every corner of the known universe orbited the blue-green world, carrying scientists, diplomats, and curious observers. Zorn, now promoted to admiral, stood on the observation deck of Unity, a massive space station built in Earth's orbit. Beside him was Vex, his old friend and now the lead scientist of the Galactic Research Initiative. "It's amazing how much has changed," Vex mused, his eyes taking in the bustling activity around them. Zorn nodded. "And how much is still changing?" Below them, Earth pulsed with life and energy. The planet had become a living university, with representatives from thousands of species coming to learn, explore, and grow. Some stayed for weeks, others for years, each taking back knowledge that was reshaping civilizations across the galaxy. A shimmering light announced the arrival of Admiral Zara's hologram. "Enjoying the view?" she asked, her voice warm with amusement. "Always," Zorn replied. "We were just reflecting on how far we've come." Zara's expression turned thoughtful. "Indeed, and yet, in many ways, we're still at the beginning." She waved her hand, and a holographic display appeared before them, showing various scenes from across the galaxy. They saw worlds where species were taking their first steps towards planetary consciousness, others where age-old conflicts were being resolved as people gained new perspectives on existence. "Not everyone has chosen our path," Zara explained. "And that's as it should be. Evolution is about diversity, about finding new ways to exist and thrive." Vex pointed to one image, showing a world covered in swirling storms. "The Zygons have merged with their planet's weather systems, haven't they?" Zara nodded. "Yes, they found their own unique way to transcend their original forms. Every species that chooses to evolve does so in its own way, shaped by its history, its environment, and its dreams." As they watched, a alert chimed softly. A new ship was approaching, carrying representatives from a species making first contact with the galactic community. "Ah, the Novalians," Zorn said. "I remember when that was us, wide-eyed and full of questions. And now you're the teachers," Zora smiled. "It's a role you've taken to quite well." Indeed, many of the species that had first contacted Earth were now taking on the role of guides for younger civilizations. The galaxy was transforming into a vast network of mentorship and growth. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. On some screens, they could see worlds still torn by conflict, species resistant to change or fearful of losing their identity. "There will always be challenges," Zora said, noting their concern. "The path of evolution is not always easy, but now there's hope where once there was only inevitable decline." A soft chime interrupted them. It was time for the daily Galactic Council meeting, where representatives from across the universe gathered to discuss issues, share knowledge, and work towards a brighter future for all. As they made their way to the council chambers, Zorn reflected on how much his life had changed. He had gone from a simple explorer to a key figure in the greatest transformation the galaxy had ever seen. The council chamber was a marvel of technology and art, with beings of all forms participating, some physically present, others as holograms, and still others as pure energy constructs. As the session began, Zorn felt a familiar sense of awe. Here in this room, the future of countless worlds was being shaped. Ideas were exchanged, philosophies debated, and new possibilities explored. An elder from a distant world was speaking, his words translated instantly for all to understand. "We stand at a crossroads," he said, "not just as individual species, but as a galactic community. The choices we make now will echo through eternity." Zorn looked around the room, seeing the determination and hope on every face, in every energy signature. He thought back to that first moment when they discovered Earth, how they thought they had reached the end of a journey. Now he understood. It had only been the beginning. As the council delved into discussions about nurturing young civilizations, protecting biodiversity across the galaxy, and exploring the very nature of consciousness itself, Zorn felt a profound sense of purpose. A new era had indeed begun. An era of growth, of exploration not just of space, but of the very boundaries of existence. An era born from humanity's legacy, but now belonging to all sentient beings who chose to reach for the stars and beyond. The universe, vast and wondrous, pulsed with potential. And together, united in their diversity, the beings of the galaxy stepped forward into a future bright with promise.